My dad chose my stepsister's award ceremony over my graduation, and now I've decided he'll never be part of my life again. All right, so here's the deal. Okay, here we go, graduation. It should be this huge milestone, years of work, late nights, exam stress, finally paying off. Freedom is almost here. Mrs. Davison's droning on about the Great Gatsby in AP English, but I'm miles away. I'm picturing walking across that stage, shaking the principal's hand, grabbing my diploma. Grandparents beaming in the audience, my rock since mom died. Son, cheers, relief, I actually made it. Each tick of the clock feels like forever. Outfit ready, button-down, dark jeans, favorite sneakers. Haircut yesterday, gotta look presentable for pics. Disposable camera in hand for candid shots. I had no ideas, however, how few I'd take. Bell rings, I practically leap up. Mrs. Davison smiles, excited are we. Seriously, I grin, see you at graduation. I sprint to my beat-up Civic, my grandparents' gift, my freedom. Radio blasting my favorite song as I pull out. Sun shining, sky blue, perfect for a few minutes. Home is too quiet, dad's usually back. A note's on the counter, in a meeting, be back later, dinner in the fridge. Fine, I'll heat up dinner myself, almost an adult. Still a little letdown. I'd hoped he'd be here so we could talk graduation, maybe celebrate, guess not. Leftover spaghetti in the microwave, not celebratory but food, phone out, scrolling social media. Graduation posts everywhere, excitement, anxieties, pure joy, can't wait to join them. Shower time, hot water, letting my mind wander to the party my friends are throwing, the summer ahead, work, saving for a road trip before college. The future's bright. Out of the shower, comfy clothes on, the front door opens. Hey, I'm home, dad calls. Finally, I rush downstairs, hey, trying to sound casual, long meeting. He looks tired, face drawn. Long, he sighs, really long, can we talk? My heart skips, something's wrong, sure, I say casually, what's up? Living room couch, I sit, hands clammy. He takes a breath, looks at me, eyes guilt, regret, so he starts hesitant. Sarah, your stepsister has that award ceremony. My stomach drops, knew it, yeah. He hesitates, avoiding my gaze. It's the same day as your graduation. I stare, I know we talked about this. Yeah, well, he continues, it's a big deal for her. Another state, her mom, the kids, she really wants me there. Unbelievable, and my voice is trembling. He finally looks at me, pleading, I can't be in two places, I can't make both. The world tilts, so you're telling me, voice cracking. He breathes, I'm going to Sarah's award ceremony. Words hang blank, mind not real. You're not coming to my graduation, I stammer. Hand on my arm, I flinch away. I know this isn't easy to hear, soft voice. Really sorry, but Sarah needs me there, I promise I'll make it up. Dinner, whatever you want. Make it up, voice rising. Make it up, missing graduation, this is everything I've worked for. He sighs, frustrated. It's one day, Sarah's award is important, she worked hard. So have I shout, voice cracking. 4 years and you're missing it for her. He stands, face hard. Don't talk to me like that, I'm doing what's best for the family. No, you're not, you're doing what's best for her. Always, I always come second. Tears blur my vision, I can't believe this. That's not true, defensive. I love you both. No, you don't, I sob. You love her more, always have. You're proving it now by missing my graduation for her. I run, slammed door, room, bed, pillow, sobs rack me. This is the last time I'd speak to him in that house. Graduation ruined, stolen by him for her. Okay, room door slammed shut. Face down on the bed, the pillow muffling the sound, chest tight, how could he do this? I'll make it up to you. Yeah, right, make up for missing graduation, years of work just gone. I roll over, staring at the ceiling as tears prick my eyes. It's more than just graduation, though. It's years of feeling second best. 11 years old, dad dating her mom. A new woman, mom gone for years, just me and dad, our okay thing. Then she arrived and suddenly there were new rules. Be nice to her kids, share my stuff, new family. I felt replaced. Dad, focused on her happiness, didn't see me. Park trips, homework with her kids, things with me felt strained. Marriage, now it was official, wife, stepkids and me, different, pissed and resentful. Favoritism, it was subtle at first. Her daughter's bigger cake slice, her movie pick. It built from there, everything favored her. Dance recitals over basketball games, vacations she wanted, birthday gifts bigger for her. Console year I saved up, pony birthday, a freaking pony. Dad took my money for the pony fund. I'll make it up to you somehow, but he never did. I'll make it up to you. Lies. I sit up and wipe my eyes, have to get out of here. Phone contacts grandma always. I dial, my hand shaking, it rings, grandma. Hello, her voice is warm. Grandma, my voice cracks, it's me. Oh honey, she sounds worried, what's wrong? I try to explain, but tears come again. Take your time, sweetheart, breathes. Breathe, graduation, Sarah's award, dad's choice, years of not being enough, favoritism, promises. Silence, listening, grandma. Oh honey, she says sadly, I'm so sorry, that's awful. I don't know what to do, grandma, I whisper. Focus on you, she says firmly. Focus on people who love you, let go of those dragging you down. But dad, that's harder, but you have to protect yourself. She's right. Can you and grandpa come to graduation? Of course, honey, she says without hesitation. We wouldn't miss it, bells on. I smile, thanks grandma, it means so much. Love you, sweetheart, I'm proud of you, don't forget that. I hang up, I feel better, Grandma helps, I feel somewhat okay. Still pissed though, still hurt, but I'm not letting him win. Desk, paper, pen, I need to write to say something about how much he hurt me. Resentment, I'm done being second best. I write for hours, pouring out anger, frustration, and pain. Raw truth. My hand cramps and my eyes burn, but I feel relieved it's off my chest. I fold the letter and put it in an envelope. I'll leave it on Dad's desk. Will he read it? Will he even care? It doesn't matter. I did what I needed to do, I said it. Now I need to move on to the future, to graduation, to genuine care. Release the past, face the unknown future. It's hard, but I'm not letting Dad ruin me or steal my joy. I will graduate, I will celebrate, I will prove I don't need him to be happy. I can do this, I will do this. Just breathe, I hope I don't regret this letter. After the graduation bomb dropped, things changed. It wasn't a switch flipping, but more like a dimmer slowly turning down the light on whatever relationship Dad and I had left. Before, there were still glimpses of the Dad I knew, but now those were gone. And honestly, I should have seen it coming. I recall the first Sunday after the graduation fight. Usually Sundays were our guy time. We'd grab bagels, maybe hit up a sporting goods store, just hang out. It wasn't always exciting, but it was ours. That Sunday, I woke up and the smell of pancakes wafted from the kitchen, so I thought maybe he's trying to make up for it. A tiny sliver of hope flickered in my chest. I went downstairs, and the scene hit me like a punch to the gut because the entire family was there, gathered around the table. Dad was flipping pancakes, his wife was setting out plates, and the little ones were chattering away. Sarah was there too, of course, but there wasn't a place set for me. "Oh hey," Dad said, not even looking up from the griddle. "Sleep well." "Yeah," I mumbled, my voice flat. "What's all this?" "Making breakfast for the family," he said. "Want some?" The way he said the family, like I wasn't part of it, stung, and I wanted to scream, to flip the table, to smash every plate in the room. But I stood there frozen, feeling like an outsider. "No thanks," I said, turning around and heading back upstairs. I could feel his eyes on my back, but I didn't turn around because I didn't want to see the pity or worse, indifference. I went back to my room, slammed the door, and sat on the bed staring at the wall. That was the first Sunday that felt truly different, and it was also the day I started planning my escape, though I didn't know it yet. Then there was the including Sarah thing. Dad started insisting that any time he and I spent together, Sarah had to be there too. It was framed as bonding or getting to know each other better, but it felt forced, and I think he was trying to make himself feel better about the graduation thing, but it worsened things. I recall one time Dad had promised to help me fix up my car. It was a project I was excited about, something we used to do together, and I had all the parts laid out in the garage, ready to go. Dad came out and I felt that little spark of excitement again. Maybe things were going back to normal. But then Sarah skipped in behind him, her eyes wide with curiosity. "What are you guys doing?" she asked, her voice high-pitched. "We're going to work on the car," Dad said, smiling at her. "Want to help?" I wanted to say no, to tell her to go away, to tell Dad that this was supposed to be our thing, but I didn't. I stood there, clenching my fists, as Dad explained to Sarah what we were doing. She didn't know anything about cars, asking questions that showed zero interest in the mechanics. She wanted to paint flames on the side or add a spoiler that looked like it belonged on a spaceship, which was infuriating. Dad, of course, indulged her every whim. He let her pick out the tools, even though she didn't know how to use them, and he let her help by holding things, even though she was getting in the way. I tried to be patient, but it was impossible, and looking back, I wonder if he even noticed how much it bothered me. After about an hour, I couldn't take it anymore. "I'm going inside," I said, my voice tight. "I'm not feeling well." Dad looked at me, his eyes filled with concern. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Yeah, I need to lie down," I said, turning and walking away. I went inside, went to my room, and slammed the door. I could hear Dad and Sarah still out in the garage, laughing and talking, and it felt like a knife twisting in my gut. That was the last time I asked Dad to help me with anything, and it was the last time I ever tried with Sarah too. And then there were the basketball games. I was never a star player, but I loved playing. It was a way to relieve stress, to be part of a team, to have fun. After the remarriage, however, his attendance became sporadic. He would miss games because of Sarah's dance recitals, or because the family was going out to dinner, or because he was too tired. I tried to be understanding because I knew he had other responsibilities, but it still stung every time I looked up and didn't see him there. One game I actually played pretty well. I scored a few points, made some good passes, and even got a steal. I was feeling good, feeling confident, so I looked up, hoping to see Dad's proud face. But he wasn't there. After the game, I walked out of the locker room, my heart sinking. I saw my grandparents waiting for me, their faces beaming. "You played great," Grandma said, giving me a hug. "We're so proud of you," Grandpa added, clapping me on the back. "Thanks," I said, trying to smile. "Did you see Dad?" They exchanged a look. "He had to work late," Grandma said, her voice a little too cheerful. "He said he was sorry he missed it." I knew she was lying because Dad hadn't mentioned anything about working late. He was probably at Sarah's dance class or at home with the family. I never found out the truth. I nodded, trying to hide my disappointment. "It's okay," I said, even though it wasn't. My grandparents took me out for ice cream after the game. We talked about school, about my plans for the future, about everything except Dad. I appreciated their support, but it wasn't the same. I wanted my dad to be there to see me play, to be proud of me. But he wasn't, and I knew deep down that he probably wouldn't be there for much longer. The favoritism wasn't always blatant, but it was there, a constant undercurrent that eroded whatever bond Dad and I had left. It was in the way he looked at Sarah, spoke to her, gave her needs priority over mine. It was in the little things, like always letting her pick the restaurant we went to, even though I hated her choices. It was in the way he would defend her, even when she was clearly wrong. It was in the way he would always take her side, no matter what. It was like I was invisible, didn't matter anymore, a ghost in my own home, haunting memories of a father who was no longer there. The father I knew was gone, replaced by someone more concerned with pleasing his wife and her daughter than with me. And the worst part was I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to get him back. All I knew was that I was losing him slowly but surely, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Or so I thought at the time. Looking back, I wonder if anyone else saw it, or if I was just hypersensitive. There was the dance recital versus basketball game thing, and it happened more times than I can count. I'd tell Dad about a game and he'd say he'd be there. Then, a few days before, he'd announce Sarah had a dance recital that same day. It didn't matter if my game was scheduled weeks in advance. Sarah's dance recital always won. In fact, it wasn't just regular recitals. There were special performances and dress rehearsals that somehow always coincided with something important to me. The first time it happened, I was crushed. I recall sitting on the bench, watching my teammates warm up, scanning the stands for Dad, but he wasn't there. I tried to tell myself he was just running late. However, when the game started and he still wasn't there, I knew. After the game, which we lost, I was walking off the court feeling like crap. My grandparents were there, waiting, their faces filled with sympathy. "He couldn't make it, huh?" Grandpa said, his voice gentle. I shook my head. "Sarah had a dance recital," I mumbled. "I see," Grandma said, patting my arm. "We're proud of you anyway, you played a good game." But it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as having my dad there cheering me on. And it wasn't just the basketball games, it was everything. Family days out were always dictated by what Sarah wanted to do. If I suggested going to a baseball game, Dad would say, "Oh, but Sarah doesn't like baseball. Let's go to the mall instead." Or if I wanted to go hiking, he'd say, "Sarah's not really into hiking, let's go to the movies." It was always about Sarah, always about what she wanted, and if I dared to complain, Dad would get defensive. "Don't be selfish," he'd say. "We need to think about what's best for the whole family." What about what I wanted? Did that not matter? I remember one family day in particular. Dad had asked us, "All right, kids, what do you want to do today?" I was excited because I had been wanting to go to this new arcade that had opened up downtown. "Let's go to the arcade," I said. Sarah wrinkled her nose. "You, arcades are boring," she said. "I want to go to the water park." The water park was okay, I suppose, but I wasn't really in the mood. It was always crowded and the lines were always long. Dad looked at me, then at Sarah. "Well," he said, "the water park does sound like fun. It'll be a good way to cool off." "But I wanted to go to the arcade," I protested. "We can go to the arcade another time," Dad said, his voice firm. "Today we're going to the water park. It'll be more fun for everyone." "But you said we could choose," I exclaimed. "I know, but Sarah really wants to go to the water park," Dad said, his voice softening. "And you know how much she loves it." "So what, my feelings don't matter?" I asked. Dad sighed. "Don't be dramatic," he said. "It's just one day, we'll do something you want to do next time." However, there was never a next time. It was always something Sarah wanted to do. The problem was I wasn't even asking for much. Later that day, as we were leaving the water park, Dad put his arm around Sarah and said, "See, I told you you'd have fun, princess. Anything for my little princess." I just rolled my eyes and walked ahead, feeling like I was going to explode. I regret I'd said anything, but I just bottled it up. But the worst example, the one that really solidified my resentment, was the birthday money incident. My birthday is in July and Sarah's is in August. For years, my grandparents on my mom's side had sent me a check for $200 for my birthday. Dad always put it in a separate account for me, saying it was for something special. I had been saving up for a new monitor and keyboard for my computer for months. It was going to be my graduation gift to myself, since you know. Then one day the refrigerator broke. It was old and on its last legs anyway. Adding to the problem, the shower started leaking. Disaster. Dad was stressed. Sarah's birthday was coming up, and she had her heart set on this elaborate Barbie dream house thing and a whole fashion set. It was expensive, like $250 expensive. One evening, I overheard Dad talking to his wife in the kitchen. "I don't know how I'm going to pay for all this," he said, his voice worried. "The fridge and the shower are going to cost a fortune, and Sarah really wants that Barbie house." His wife sighed. "I know, honey," she said. "It's just bad timing." "I wish I had some extra money lying around," Dad said, "but I'm completely tapped out." That's when I heard it, the words that made my blood run cold. "What about the money your son's grandparents send him every year?" his wife suggested. "The birthday money." I froze, my heart pounding. No, he wouldn't, would he? "I don't know," Dad said, his voice hesitant. "That's his money. He's been saving it up for something special." But he's only 18, his wife said, her voice persuasive. He doesn't need it right now, and Sarah's birthday is coming up. It would make her so happy. There was a long silence. I could hear Dad pacing. I suppose, he said finally, his voice resigned. I can always pay him back later. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He was actually going to do it. He was going to take my birthday money to buy Sarah a Barbie house. I should have recorded it, but I was too shocked. I ran to my room, slammed the door, and threw myself on the bed. I felt like I was going to be sick. How could he do this to me? A few days later, I confronted him. I heard you talking to your wife, I said, my voice trembling. I heard you say you were going to take my birthday money to buy Sarah a Barbie house. Dad looked at me, his face filled with guilt. I was going to talk to you about it, he said, his voice defensive. Talk to me about it? What's there to talk about? You're stealing my money, I shouted. I'm not stealing it, Dad said, his voice rising. I'm borrowing it. I'll pay you back. When are you going to pay me back? After Sarah's birthday? After Christmas? Never, I asked, tears streaming down my face. Dad sighed. Don't be so dramatic, he said. I said I'd pay you back and I will. But why? Why do you always put her first? Why is she always more important than me? I sobbed. Dad looked at me, his eyes filled with frustration. It's not like that, he said. I love you both. No, you don't, I said, shaking my head. You love her more, you always have. He didn't say anything but just stood there looking at me, his face a mask of guilt. Or maybe it was just annoyance. It was hard to know. Sarah got her Barbie house. It was huge and pink and ridiculous. She played with it for a few days, then got bored with it and left it in the corner of her room gathering dust. I remember thinking, that's my money sitting there collecting dust. My birthday came and went. Dad didn't have all the money back. Instead of the new monitor and keyboard, he gave me a $30 gift card for Steam. $30. I know it's not much, he said, handing me the gift card, but I promise I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you. Those words again, empty promises, lies. I just took the gift card and walked away feeling numb. I didn't say a word. I actually ended up giving that gift card away. Then at that moment I knew that things would never be the same. The scales had tipped and I was on the losing side. And honestly, that Steam gift card, it was almost more insulting than getting nothing at all. Okay, so after the birthday money thing, things went from bad to worse. And the graduation announcement, I should have known something was up when he was acting so weird that week. That night after Dad dropped the bomb, I went upstairs, then came back down to find him in the living room. He was staring at the TV but not really seeing it. We need to talk, I said, my voice shaking. He looked up, his face tired. I know, look, I said, I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you wanted to hear, but what? I interrupted. But Sarah's more important, which means her feelings matter more. He stood up, his face hardening. Don't put words in my mouth, that's not what I said. Then what did you say? I demanded, stepping closer. What did you mean when you said you couldn't be in two places at once, that you were going to Sarah's instead of my graduation? He ran a hand through his hair. It's a difficult situation. I can't make everyone happy, so I have to make a choice. And you chose her, I said, barely a whisper. He sighed. It's not about choosing sides. It's about doing what's best for the family. Family? I scoffed. Is that what we are? Because it doesn't feel like it. It feels like I'm just here, an extra you tolerate. He stepped closer, pleading in his eyes. That's not true. I love you. You're my son. Then show it, I shouted, tears welling up. Show me I matter. Don't just say it, do something. He reached out, but I flinched. I am doing something. I'm trying to hold this family together and make everyone happy. But you're not, I yelled, my voice cracking. You're making me miserable, like I'm not good enough all for her. He stepped back, anger flashing across his face. That's enough. I'm not listening to you disrespect me. Disrespect you, I repeated, my voice trembling. You're disrespecting me, ignoring my feelings and choosing her. I'm not choosing anyone, he said, his voice tight. I'm making a decision I think is best. Well, it's not best for me, I screamed, my voice raw. It's the worst thing. You're missing my graduation for her. I turned, heading for the stairs. I can't believe you're doing this, I said, my voice choked. I'll make it up to you, he called after me, his voice pleading. I promise, we'll celebrate, just you and me. I stopped back to him. There is no making up for this, I said, my voice flat. You can't just miss it and expect me to be okay, to pretend it doesn't matter. It does matter, he said, sounding desperate. I know it matters, but I have to do this, be there for Sarah. I turned, my eyes filled with tears. Then you can forget about me, I said, my voice trembling. If she's more important, then forget about me. I'm done being second best, ignored, treated like I don't matter. He stared, shock on his face. What are you saying? He asked, barely a whisper. I'm saying that I'm done, I repeated, my voice firm. Done with this family, done with you, done with all of it. I ran up the stairs, slamming my door, and threw myself on the bed, crying. I'll make it up to you, he'd said. Those words echoed, each syllable a fresh wave of anger. He didn't get it. Years of feeling not good enough, years of him choosing her, I was done. Later, after calming down a little, I decided to invite my grandparents. They'd come, they always came. They were the only ones I could count on. I called my grandma first. Hey, Grandma, I said, my voice shaky. Hey, sweetheart, she said, her voice warm. How are you? Not great, I said, sighing. Bad news. I told her about Dad's decision and I heard her gasp. Oh honey, she said, her voice sad. I'm so sorry, that's just awful. Yeah, I said, barely a whisper, it is. Well, don't you worry, she said, her voice firm. We'll be there, Grandpa and I wouldn't miss it. Really? I asked, hope in my voice. Of course, sweetheart, she said. We're so proud nothing could keep us away. Thanks, Grandma, I said, tears welling up. That means a lot. We love you, sweetheart, she said. We'll see you at graduation. I called my other grandparents and they were just as supportive. They promised to be there. Knowing I'd have them, that I wouldn't be alone, made me feel a bit better. However, I was still angry, still hurt, still determined not to let Dad ruin it. I just hoped this wouldn't cause a rift between him and my grandparents. The next morning, I came downstairs for breakfast. Dad was already in the kitchen making coffee, and he looked up, guilt written all over his face. Morning, he said, his voice hesitant. I didn't say anything, just grabbed orange juice. Look, he said, sighing, about last night. Don't, I interrupted, my voice cold. Just don't, I don't want to talk about it. But we need to, he said, his voice pleading. We can't pretend nothing happened. Yes, we can, I said, pouring juice. That's exactly what we're doing. I'm pretending you're not missing it and you're pretending I'm not heartbroken. He stared, a sad expression on his face. That's not fair, he said. Fair? I scoffed. You want to talk about fair? What's fair about you missing my graduation for Sarah's award ceremony, always putting her first? He didn't say anything, just stood there, his face a mask of guilt. I finished my juice, walking towards the door. I'm going to school, I said, my voice flat. I'll see you later. Wait, he said, sounding desperate. Please, can we talk? I want to explain. There's nothing to explain, I said, turning. You made your decision, so now you live with it. I walked out, leaving him in the kitchen alone. Walking to my car, his wife Sarah's mom came out. Hey, she said, her voice gentle. I stopped, my face suspicious. What do you want? I asked, my voice cold. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, she said, her voice sincere. I know this is difficult and I feel bad you're upset. Really? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Because it seems like you're perfectly happy your daughter's getting all the attention. She sighed, that's not true, I care about you too, I want you to be happy. Then tell your husband to come to my graduation, I said, my voice sharp. Tell him to put me first for once. She shook her head, I can't do that, Sarah really needs him there, it's important for her. So my feelings don't matter, I asked, my voice cracking. Of course they matter, she said, but you could come with us, you don't have to attend but you could still support your sister. She's not my sister, I said, my voice cold. And I don't want to support your family anymore, I'm done with all of you. Her face hardened, that's selfish, you can't deny her a dad, she needs him. And I don't, I asked, my voice trembling. I don't need a dad, I don't need him to be there. Is that what you're saying? She didn't say anything, just stared, her eyes angry. I'm done, I repeated, turning and walking away. I'm done with all of you, I'll be out of your hair soon enough. You can't deny her a dad, she called after me, her voice venomous. I didn't respond, got in my car, drove away, tears streaming. I didn't know it then, but that wouldn't be the last time I heard those words. That was it, the final straw. I was done trying to make them happy, trying to fit in, trying to be second best. I was going to focus on myself, my future, the people who cared. And I was going to graduate with or without my dad. And maybe, just maybe, I'd finally figure out what I was going to do with that Steam gift card. This is it, I'm standing in the living room and Dad just dropped the bomb. He's missing my graduation. His stepdaughter Sarah has some award thing out of state and he has to be there. He says he'll make it up to me, but I just told him it can't be fixed. What are you saying? He asks like he didn't hear me. I'm saying I'm done, I tell him, done being second to Sarah. He looks hurt, but I have to be firm. You can't mean that, I'm your father. And you're choosing to miss my graduation, I shoot back, adding emphasis to my point. Again. He starts to say something, but I cut him off. Don't, I turn and head for the stairs. Where are you going? He calls after me. Away, I say, not turning back, away from this. He begs me to be reasonable, but I just keep walking because it's pointless. He's made his choice. When he said he was missing my graduation for her, something snapped. So I told him he could forget about being included in my life going forward. I invited my grandparents instead, both sets. They were pissed when they heard what happened and said they'd be there. His wife, Sarah's mom, cornered me later. You could come with us, she said, all sweet. You don't need to attend the ceremony, but you could support your sister. She's not my sister, I said flatly, and I don't want to support your family anymore. I'll be out of your hair soon enough. She called me selfish and said I couldn't deny Sarah Dad, but I just walked away. After telling Dad there was no making up for missing graduation, I knew I couldn't face that day alone. I tried to fix things as best I could. The first call was to Grandma on Mom's side, my rock since Mom died. My hands were shaking as I dialed. Hello, her voice calmed me instantly. Grandma, it's me. Oh, honey, what's wrong? I spilled it all, Dad missing graduation, Sarah's award, and his impossible choice. It was years of feeling second best all coming to a head. She listened, then a long silence followed. Oh, honey, she said sadly, your mother would be heartbroken. That hit hard because Mom would have been furious. I don't know what to do, Grandma, I whispered. I feel like my world is falling apart. It just feels that way, she said firmly. You're strong, resilient, so you'll get through this. and you're not alone, we're here. But graduation, I said, it's a special day and Dad won't be there. He may not be, but we will, she declared. Grandpa and I wouldn't miss it. We'll cheer you on, celebrate you, and remind you how proud we are. Really, you'll come, hope surged within me. Of course, honey, wouldn't miss it. I'm booking flights now, just tell us when and where. Relief washed over me, just knowing they'd be there. Thank you, Grandma, I choked out. That means everything. We love you, sweetheart, so proud. Never forget that. Focus on school, graduation, and we'll handle the rest. I still had Grandpa on Dad's side to call. Hello, his voice was gruff but kind. Grandpa, it's me. Hey, sport, what's up? I took a deep breath and told him everything. He listened, making noises of disapproval, followed by silence. Well, I'll be damned, he said, anger evident in his voice. That boy's got explaining to do. I know, I whispered, don't know what to do. Don't worry, sport, he said firmly. We'll be there. Grandma and I wouldn't miss your graduation. We are proud of you and going to celebrate you. You really will. Of course, I am booking flights now. Tell us when and where. Another wave of relief washed over me. Both sets of grandparents were coming. I felt stronger. Thank you, Grandpa. My voice was thick with emotion. That means everything. We love you, sport. We're there for you no matter what. Just concentrate on school and graduation and we'll take care of everything else. I wasn't going to be alone because I had my grandparents. Later, still uneasy, I went to the park Mom used to take me to, hoping to clear my head. Kids played on the playground, reminding me of simpler times, which made me sad. Sarah's mom approached, her face serious. Can we talk? She asked gently. About what? I asked coldly. About your dad, she said. I know you're upset and I'm sorry. Sorry for what? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Is your daughter more important? Is that why Dad is missing my graduation? She sighed. That's not what I meant. I know it's not fair and you're hurting. Tell him to come to my graduation, I said, my voice trembling. Tell him to put me first for once. She shook her head, replying, I can't do that. Sarah really needs him. It's important for her. So my feelings don't matter? I asked, my voice cracking. Of course they matter, she said, but you could come with us and support your sister. She's not my sister, I said coldly. I don't want to support your family. I'm done with you all. Her face hardened. That's selfish. You can't deny her a dad. She needs him. And I don't, I asked, my voice trembling. Don't I need a dad to be there for me? Silence hung in the air. I'm done, I repeated, getting up. I'm done with all of you. I'll be out of your hair soon enough. You can't deny her a dad, she called, venom in her voice. Putting on my headphones, I walked away, tears streaming down my face. I had no idea that conversation would come back to bite me. I was going to graduate, I was going to celebrate, and I was going to move on with or without my dad. Things were tense, you could feel it hanging in the air. Consequently, I started avoiding Dad and his wife, spending most of my time in my room listening to music or crashing at my friends' places. Looking back, I probably should have just left altogether. Then came the inevitable. I was in my room trying to focus on some homework when I heard a knock. I knew who it was and I tried to ignore it, hoping she'd go away. But the knocking kept coming, a steady beat that got on my nerves. Finally, I sighed and got up, opening the door to find her standing there with arms crossed and a tight look on her face. Can we talk? She asked, her voice clipped and formal. I just stared at her. About what? I asked, my voice cold. About your behavior, she said, stepping into my room. It's been completely unacceptable. Rolling my eyes, I turned away. Oh, here we go, I muttered. What was that? She asked, her voice sharp. Nothing, I said, grabbing my textbook and pretending to read. She walked further into the room. Look, I get you're upset about your dad missing your graduation, she said, her voice softening, but that doesn't give you the right to be rude. Slamming my textbook shut, I turned around. Rude? You're the one being rude. You're trying to guilt me into supporting your daughter when my own dad is ditching my graduation for her stupid award. Her face hardened. Don't talk to me like that. I'm trying to be reasonable here. Reasonable? I scoffed. How reasonable is it for my dad to miss my graduation, and how reasonable is it to expect me to be happy about it? She ran a hand through her hair. Look, I know this is tough, but Sarah really needs your dad there. It's a very important event for her. And my graduation isn't important, I asked, my voice cracking. My graduation doesn't matter. Of course it matters, she said, her voice soothing. However, you have to be reasonable. Your dad can't be in two places at once and Sarah really needs him there. So I don't, I asked, tears starting to sting my eyes. I don't need him there, is that what you're saying? She hesitated, looking away. That's not what I meant. I meant you're older, more mature, which means you can understand better than she can. Oh, so now I'm being punished for being mature, I asked, my voice dripping with sarcasm. That's great. You're being impossible, she said, her voice frustrated. I'm trying to talk to you like an adult, but you're acting like a child. And you're acting like a hypocrite, I shot back, my voice trembling. You're telling me to be reasonable, but you're not. You expect me to roll over and accept that my dad is missing my graduation, and you're calling me selfish when I'm not okay with it. She glared at me, eyes flashing. That's enough. I'm not going to stand here and listen to you disrespect me. Then leave, I said, my voice cold. I didn't ask you to come in here. She stared at me, her face a mask of anger. Then she turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I stood there for a moment, shaking with anger, tears streaming down my face. I couldn't believe how insensitive she was being. How could she call me selfish when she was putting her daughter's needs above mine? I wanted to disappear. A few minutes later, another knock came. I groaned inside, bracing myself, and mumbled into the pillow, "Go away." "It's me," Dad's voice said softly. I hesitated, then sat up, wiping my eyes. "Come in," I said, my voice flat. He opened the door and walked in, his face worried. Sitting on the edge of my bed, he looked at me with guilt and sadness. "I heard you and your stepmom arguing," he said, his voice quiet. "I'm sorry." "It's not your fault," I said, my voice barely there. "Yes, it is," he said, shaking his head. "I'm the one who caused all this. I made the decision to miss your graduation." "I know," I said, my voice cold. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I don't know what to do. I want to make everyone happy, but it seems impossible." "You can't make everyone happy," I said, my voice flat. "You have to choose who you're going to disappoint." He looked at me, his eyes filled with pain. "I don't want to disappoint you. You're my son. I love you." "Then show it," I said, my voice trembling. "Come to my graduation." He hesitated, looking away. "I can't. I already promised Sarah. I can't break my promise." "So you're choosing her over me," I said, my voice flat. Again. He didn't say anything but looked at me, his face a mask of guilt and regret. "Then there's nothing left to talk about," I said, turning away. "You've made your decision, so now you have to live with it." "Please," he said, his voice desperate. "Don't shut me out of your life. I don't want to lose you." "You already lost me," I said, my voice cold, "a long time ago." I got up and walked over to the window, staring out because I didn't want to see his face. I wanted him to leave. He stood there for a moment, then he sighed and got up, walking towards the door. "I'm always here if you want to talk," he said, his voice quiet. I didn't respond. He left, closing the door softly. I stood there, watching the cars drive by, feeling numb and empty. Later that evening, I was in the kitchen making a sandwich when Sarah walked in. I groaned inside, bracing myself. "Hey," she said, her voice hesitant. I nodded, not looking at her. She walked to the fridge and grabbed a water. "I heard you and my mom arguing earlier," she said, her voice quiet. Sighing, I put down my knife and turned to face her. "Yeah," I said, my voice flat, "so." "I wanted to say that I'm sorry," she said, her voice sincere. "I know this whole situation is messed up." Raising an eyebrow, I asked, my voice skeptical, "Really?" "Yeah," she said, nodding. "I feel bad that you're upset. It's not fair to you." "No, it's not," I said, my voice cold. She hesitated, then took a deep breath. "I talked to my mom about it. I told her that maybe Dad should go to your graduation instead of my award thing." I stared at her, my mouth open. "You did?" I asked, my voice disbelieving. "Yeah," she said, nodding. "I know how important it is to you, and I don't want you to be mad at me." "What did she say?" I asked, my heart pounding. She sighed. "She said it wasn't my decision to make. She said that Dad had already made up his mind and there was nothing I could do." I felt anger wash over me. "Of course she did," I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "She always gets her way, doesn't she?" "Don't blame her," Sarah said, her voice pleading. "She's trying to do what she thinks is best for me." "And what about what's best for me?" I asked, my voice cracking. "Doesn't anyone care about what's best for me?" She looked at me, her eyes filled with sadness. "I do," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I care about you." Staring at her, my anger faded. I realized she's just as much a victim in this, being used as a pawn in her mom's game. "Thanks," I said, my voice softening. "That means a lot." She smiled weakly. "I wish there was something I could do to make things better." "There isn't," I said, shaking my head. "It's too late, the damage is already done." She sighed, taking another sip of her water. "I know," she said, her voice quiet, "but I wanted you to know that I'm on your side." "I appreciate that," I said, my voice sincere. We stood there in silence for a moment, both of us feeling helpless. Then Sarah finished her water and walked out of the kitchen, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I finished making my sandwich and ate it in silence, feeling a little bit better but still deeply sad and angry. I knew that nothing was going to change. My dad was still going to miss my graduation and I was still going to feel like I was second best. But at least I knew that I wasn't completely alone. I had my grandparents, my friends, and even, surprisingly, my stepsister on my side. And that was enough to give me the strength to keep going, to keep fighting, and to keep hoping for a better future, though the better future I was hoping for then was a lot different than what actually happened. Okay, so after that whole be reasonable lecture, and after she slammed the door, I just shut down. Headphones on, music blasting, staring at the ceiling, I was drowning out the house but not the thoughts. Reasonable, that word just kept hitting me over and over. It wasn't just graduation, it was everything, years of feeling second best. I ripped off the headphones, I had to get out. Keys, wallet downstairs. I tried to avoid eye contact, but Dad was on the couch staring at the TV, looking worried. He looked up. "Hey," he said, hesitant. "Where are you going?" "Out," I said, cold, "need air." "Can we talk, please, just a few minutes?" I hesitated but said, "Nothing to talk about." My voice was flat. "You made your decision, so live with it." I walked out and didn't turn back. I drove, not knowing where. I just needed to escape and clear my head. I ended up at the park, the same park Mom used to take me to. It was a beautiful day, but I couldn't even see it because I was too angry, too sad. I sat on a bench watching the kids. Their laughter was echoing, reminding me of when Mom was here and Dad was still Dad. Grief hit me hard. I closed my eyes because I missed Mom so much. She'd know what to say and make him understand. But she wasn't here and he was different now, focused on his wife and her daughter. I wiped my eyes because I couldn't stay. It was too painful. I got back in the car and felt more lost than ever. Then I got a text from Sarah. The concert starts at 8 p.m. and finishes at 11 p.m. I pulled over. About what? About everything, she said. I know you're upset and I want to help. I sighed. I didn't want to, but maybe she could help me understand Dad. Okay, I said. Where do you want to meet? Can you come over to my house? My mom's not here. I hesitated because I didn't want to go there, but I said, okay, I'll be there in a few minutes. I drove to her house feeling apprehension and curiosity. I'd never really spent time with her alone. I parked, walked to the door, took a breath and rang the bell. She opened it fast, looking concerned. Hey, she said, quiet, thanks for coming. No problem, I said, stepping inside. Her house was nice. It felt more like a home than mine, so I guess she actually felt like she belonged here. Come on, she said, leading me to the living room. Let's sit down. We sat on the couch in awkward silence. So, I said, breaking it, what did you want to talk about? I just wanted to say that I'm sorry, she said, sincere. I know you're upset about Dad missing your graduation and I feel really bad about it. It's not your fault, I said flat. I know, she said, but I still feel responsible. I know how much your graduation means to you and I hate that Dad is going to miss it. Yeah, well, it is what it is, I said, shrugging. I talked to my mom about it, she said, hesitant. I told her that maybe Dad should go to your graduation instead of my award ceremony. I stared at her. You did? Yeah, she said, nodding. I know how important it is to you and I don't want you to be mad at me. What did she say? My heart was pounding. She sighed. She said it wasn't my decision to make, she said, quiet. She said that Dad had already made up his mind and there was nothing I could do to change it. Anger flared. Of course she did, I said, sarcastic. She always gets her way, doesn't she? Don't blame her, Sarah said, pleading. She's just trying to do what she thinks is best for me. And what about what's best for me? My voice was cracking. Doesn't anyone care about what's best for me? She looked at me sad. I do, she said, barely a whisper. I care about you. I stared at her, my anger fading. I realized she was a victim too, just a pawn. Thanks, I said softer. That means a lot. I just wish there was something I could do to make things better, she said. There isn't, I said, shaking my head. It's too late, the damage is already done. She sighed. I know, she said, but I just wanted you to know that I'm on your side. I don't think it's fair that Dad is missing your graduation. You deserve better than that. Thanks, Sarah, I said, sincere. I appreciate that. Silence fell between us, then she walked to the window. I don't understand why Dad is doing this, she said, quiet. He knows how much you wanted him to be there. He knows how much it means to you. I don't know either, I said, shaking my head. I guess he just cares about you more than he cares about me. That's not true, she said, turning around. He loves you. He's trying to make everyone happy and sometimes he makes the wrong decisions. Yeah, well, his wrong decisions are hurting me, I said, my voice trembling, and I'm tired of it. I know, she said, soft. I'm sorry, I wish I could fix it. You can't, I said, shaking my head. It's up to Dad. He's the only one who can fix this. More silence, then I got up to leave. Thanks for talking to me, I said, sincere. I appreciate it. Anytime, she said with a weak smile. I'm always here if you need me. I walked out feeling a little better but still sad and angry. Nothing was going to change. He was still going to miss it. But at least I wasn't completely alone. Grandparents, friends, even Sarah were on my side, which was enough to keep fighting and keep hoping. Driving home, I realized something. I couldn't let his decision ruin my life and I couldn't let his favoritism control me. I had to take control of my own happiness. So I decided I was going to make graduation day the best day possible. I would focus on the people who loved me and who were proud of me and on the bright future ahead. I was going to graduate, I was going to celebrate, and I was going to move on with or without my dad. I didn't know then that moving on would mean something completely different than I imagined.